Welcome back, Truth Helpers. I'm going to play a few minutes of Peggy Hall's video, and then I'm going to read some printouts that you can download yourself at the HealthyAmerican.org, speaking about businesses and the mask wearing, and I'll explain all that in a minute. Let's listen to her video.
A capitalist society is the best form of an economy that we could have. So yes, I'm a capitalist, and I'm conservative, and I'm a Christian, and I'm compassionate. How about all of those? How about all those C's? I'll make a whole t-shirt with all of those there. Wow, I feel so feisty today. You guys told me you liked it when I got a little feisty, so here you go. So number one, you want to educate the businesses. And I've got this educational notice to businesses. And this is what you can do. You can hand it out to people. You're welcome to photocopy it. I would say that if you're going to embed it on a website, just put a link to my website, because this is my intellectual property and this is my, copyright material. It's for you to use. I hope you will print it out and hand it out and share the information. But if you put it on your website, put a link to my website, or say that this information was prepared by Peggy Hall, Healthy Americans. So number one, and I'm going to get this a little larger here. So for the businesses, you want to remind them that they are under no lawful authority to require, well, let's say you're reading it to them, to the business. You are under no lawful authority to require your employees or your patrons to wear a mask. You see, there is no law that requires this. Don't get snookered, don't get bamboozled and, hoodwinked into thinking that even in New York, they're trying to tell you that there's a law. There is no law. If there's a law, there's a code. That's why it's called the code of law. And you would want to see the number. Don't start trotting out these health officer numbers. The only regulation or law that has to do with is the health officer. Are you the health officer? No, then you don't have to abide by that code. That code says that the health officer has the authority to issue an order. Well, you're not the health officer, so you don't have to worry about that code. That code of law applies to the health officer. And if there's going to be a code of law that says you have to wear a mask, there will be a code of law with a number attached to it that states clearly you have to wear a mask and that you have to require your employees to wear a mask or your patrons. It doesn't exist as far as I've seen in any state. That's what a statutory law is. There is no statutory law. These are guidelines.
All right, so I'm going to stop her video and I'm going to start reading from one of the printouts that I printed from her site, thehealthyamerican.org. And I just wanted to say, I guess I'll move the tablet and I can read this better. Okay, there is no statutory law that mandates masks. Now, I did want to say something real quick. If you really want to know if someone's very narrow-minded, if they're easily led, if they're influenced by what they've heard on television for a long time, just ask them this question. Have you ever had vegetables for breakfast? And usually the answer is vegetables, like I'm weird, which I have eaten them for breakfast. So they think that that's not allowed or supposed to be done because they've been conditioned by television and all the advertisements to eat cereal for breakfast. So that's one way you can find out if someone's actually even going to be able to listen to you. But I think it's still good to get the word out. So let's read this. There's no statutory law that mandates masks. You are not required to wear a mask unless you are comfortable doing so. No business can discriminate against your entry if you cannot wear a mask. Call the sheriff if you are harassed or intimidated. Well, I live in Philadelphia, so you would call the police. Not recommending it, but this is what she says. Only a doctor can recommend you to wear a mask, not a store, not the government. And I will bring in the next printout. And this one is, attention businesses, guidelines are not laws. And let me read that to you. There is no statutory law in this state that requires wearing masks, social distancing, or taking temperatures. Your business is not required to follow these guidelines. Guidelines are not law and not enforceable by law. Your business cannot discriminate against any patron who is not wearing a mask. This is a violation of civil law, which protects free and equal access to any business establishment of any kind whatsoever. Law enforcement will immediately be called if a patron is harassed or intimidated in your establishment. From the HealthyAmerican.org. And there's another form that you can print out. And this is a notice to businesses. And I'll read just a little bit of that because I encourage you to go to her website. It's free. You don't have to sign anything or join. All you need to do is print these out and take them with you. It's a little bit of a protection for you so that you're almost like legally notifying somebody of your rights. And we do have rights. And making you wear a mask is making you wear a medical device. Notice to businesses. Attention, owner or manager. Mask and distancing in this jurisdiction. You are under no lawful authority to require your employees, or your patrons to wear a mask. There is no statutory law that requires you, your employees, or your patrons to wear a mask. These are guidelines of the State Department of Health and local health boards. Any other order is unlawful and must be challenged. Preventing entry to your establishment of someone not wearing a mask violates these laws. Now, she has the California Constitution. I would need to look up the Constitution of Pennsylvania. But we know that Governor Wolf lost the lawsuit. He was sued for shutting down the economy. So the other law is the U.S. Constitution, the First and Fourth Amendment, Federal Civil Rights Law, Title 11, Section 2000, and then she has the California Civil Rights Law, number 51. So the businesses are refusing entry, some of them. Well, they did in the beginning, probably back in March of 2020. But they're saying, well, we have a policy, but it doesn't matter. A grocery store is a public establishment. It's not a private business. You're not going into a private club where they can make their rules, and you probably have to follow them because it's their private business. Grocery stores and any other store like Target, Walmart, Home Depot, etc., they are a public establishment. Like anyone can go in and just walk around. They don't have to buy anything. There's no rules that anybody has to follow. Now, if you're causing a disturbance, of course, then you would probably be issued a trespass. But it's not really lawful to even give you a trespass if you're just in there without a mask, which is determined to be a medical device. So I'm encouraging you to go over to Peggy's website. I just wanted to let you know the order is not a law. You're not breaking the law. You can't be arrested. I think the stories of people getting fines would be challenged in court because you can't fine somebody if there's no code or violation of a code, which is an ordinance, which is, a local law, and then we have state and federal laws. So I encourage you to go watch the video. I'll leave all the links in the description box. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope to see you soon. I really appreciate that you're here. I love you all. Have a great day.